welcome to Video Games Are for Boys. I'm one of the four co-hosts, Simmer Things, joined by Shell, So Random, Zombie Senpai, and our fourth member, Mel Minute, is possibly going to be here, but we will move forward without her at this time. Today's episode is about playing for vibes, not for accuracy. Just an opportunity for y'all to get to know us, especially since, look, I don't see any cis hetero men here. So is this really Video Games Are for Boys? So before we get into our discussions around our favorite games, the type of games we like to play, our first games, what really drove us to want to A, be into video games, and B, be streamers, because everyone you see here is a streamer. And then we'll dive in a little bit around some of our faux pas in entering the gaming space, whether or not we have any funny stories to share with you or times where we completely misunderstood the game. But before we jump in, I'd love to introduce you to my co-hosts. So let's give it up for Shell So Random. Please, Shell, take it away. Let the folks know who you are.
Hi guys, I'm Shell. I do a lot of variety games considering building, so like Minecraft. I'm actually my new personality right now is Palia. So I've been enjoying a lot of things that decorate, not just that, but also storytelling games. So that's just a little bit about me.
Thank you, friend. What about you, Zombie?
Hi, I am Zombie Senpai. I am also into variety of games. I like cozy games like Cattails, Stardew, and then horror games like Little Nightmares and A Midnight Walk. And yeah.
That's an interesting combo. You
Yes.
like cozy and horror?
Yes.
It's like what is that movie with Pet Cemetery where unfortunately little baby gets bleeped by a semi and then they bury the baby and then the baby comes back and the daddy and the family is all like, oh, my baby, but the baby's trying to kill them the whole time. That's immediately what came to mind when you said cozy and horror.
Yes.
Come here.
No fair. No fair, no fair.
I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Simmer Things. I do chaotic things over on my Twitch channel, but I'm just a 40-year-old fat black cisgender neurospicy woman trying to enjoy video games the way that I can present day and still have a little bit of nostalgia of the times when I was a kid playing on Game Boy, which I think Gen Z y'all like to say that's retro gaming. So that's who I am. We are definitely going to make sure that you all get to know Meal when we are able to join as a foursome. Please don't get any sick, twisted thoughts about that. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about our first games, like our first games, our favorite consoles. Like, what game made us fall in love with gaming? And for those listening, maybe you'll run down the nostalgia lane and think about your first game as well. Who wants to start off?
So for me, we had older game systems and like my older sibling had game system, but my first game system was the Nintendo 64. And at the time, Pokemon was really big. It's still big, but and so my like really first games were Hey You Pikachu, which no one remembers. Like I feel like people are trying, like, what, I don't remember what the thing is. Like, you know how everyone's like, oh no, Sinbad never played Shazam. What is that? What is that?
Oh, the butterfly effect or something like
Yes,
that, or
something
something
like
like
that.
that. Yeah.
And like people are trying to gaslight me into thinking it doesn't exist, but actually a couple of years ago I found the game on eBay because I still have my 64, but I didn't have the game, and I have the game again. So you can't convince me it didn't exist.
No one's
But
gonna gaslight you anymore.
exactly. But if you've never heard of it, it's actually a really cool game. So way before its time, but you actually had a mic that came with the game, and you got to talk to Pikachu to tell it to do different things. So it was a cool
That's
little
crazy.
Pokemon game. Like that
What?
was like peak gaming for like my first game.
Excuse me? How did I miss this game? I know you shared
Right.
a clip, and we'll definitely drop that for you all watching the video version of our podcast for sure.
Pikachu, let's play. Pikachu, dance.
I can't take it anymore.
Reel it in.
He talks to Pikachu, Pikachu listens.
Pikachu, come here.
I thought I was man's best friend.
I saw that commercial and I was like, wait a minute, where was I? Because I think I'm the oldest person here. Where was I during this? Because I loved Pokemon and Pikachu. How did I miss Pikachu?
I have no idea. It was such a good game though. So good.
Have you continued to play it since you found it?
Oh, absolutely. My siblings would be like, "We have newer systems. What are you doing?" I'm like, because some games, these classics, I know y'all don't know nothing about that, but yeah, these are great games.
That's a really good point. Where is the appreciation of classics versus like being ready for the next console, being ready for the next iteration of the 15th version of a freaking game? I would prefer if like there was some meat to it, if you're going to keep making iterations. Like Legend of Zelda is my first love if we're going to talk about handhelds,
Yes.
because Game Boy was my entry point to video gaming. I never had the other consoles because my cousins normally did, but I did have Game Boy as a child. And then as I became a teenager and young adult, I started to buy my own stuff. So I had PlayStation 1 and I think 2. And then I had 3 and I have a PS4 still. I'm still trying to get a PS5. By the time I get a PS5, there'll be a PS6 probably, Lord child. But to your point of with Hey Pikachu, it's like, why wouldn't you want to play the classics unless you were born in an era where the only consoles you heard of were PS3, 4, 5, and Xbox this, which you, I mean, if I keep it a buck, my first console was actually a gaming, computer gaming system. It was called Amiga. It was like a computer with loaded games, and then floppy disk. For those who are Gen Z and don't know what a floppy disk is,
the floppy
that
disk was reckless.
that until you have a bunch of floppy disks trying to play your game on the Amiga. I don't know where my mama got it. It was like she got it from some like what are those things? The flea markets. She got from one of those, and I loved it, and I was hooked on this detective game. I don't even remember the name of it, but if I'm being honest, that was my first foray into gaming on a computer, and then eventually I got a Game Boy, and Legend of Zelda really just took it from there for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Shell?
Yes, my first actually favorite game was or console was like Super Nintendo. So I was playing the Donkey Kongs and the Aladdins, all the ones that you literally die. You got to start all the way in the beginning. Like it was no saved. There was no like pinpoint of load
Restart
the
from this
game.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I'm actually really surprised about like not breaking anything, but then, having a black mama, that wouldn't work. So, at all. So, but yeah, that was actually my first games. My uncles who are about the same age as me, yes, my grandpa did not stop. Uh, at all. So
Come on, granddaddy.
so I had, I had my uncles to play to go over there. So I was over my grandparents' house a lot with my uncles, and so we'll play. And then even like it was hard for me, but they would pass it so easily. So I would always give them the controller if I couldn't pass it, and it would take them like only 5 minutes. But for me, it would take me like 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm just like, how is this possible? Like, I mean, I don't know if anyone remembers the Lion King one where the
Mm.
bouncing of the animals and you gotta like bounce like that one was like
Yep.
stressful. So like anything anxiety driven was because of those video games. So that's how our anxiety started actually in those times because we could not like load game and then obviously sometimes you played it too much. You gotta blow
Mm-hmm.
into the little thingy and then you're just like, hopefully it works. Your spit is all in it, like, but it works.
Did you guys know that there's literally a little disclaimer on those game cartridges that says "Do not blow on these"?
Yeah. No one
But
read
then
that.
why did
Like,
it
2 years
work?
old learning this.
but it
But
worked.
then why did it
Right.
work if we weren't supposed to blow in it?
Exactly.
Learning new things
So
40 years in. But to your point also, Shell, of having
mhm.
to start from the beginning if you died, no restart from this save point, this auto save point. We also couldn't
Yeah.
go and cheat and look up a walkthrough or how to do X because nobody was on the internet like that at that point. Like,
No, we
not
were on the
really.
internet. Yeah.
I
There was like literally no.
Today, I got this little, I actually have it here next to me. So I think I was telling
Mm.
y'all how I found this on Amazon. I have
Mhm.
like a review
Mm.
thingy, and it has every freaking game across multiple consoles from back in our early childhood periods.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
like open source handheld. And so I found Legend of Zelda quickly, all multiple versions. And I've been playing it, but each time I get stuck in a dungeon or with a boss, I'm like, man, fuck this. Let me get online and find out how to cheat this. Little simmer things back in the day would have been like, Mom, I want a new game. I can't pass this. Mom, I want a new game. I can't get past this one.
For real.
I can't get past it. Now I can
No,
just get
that
on
was
the internet and check it out.
yeah, that's the best part because like even as people who, especially as older ones that are like working or some people have kids, they're like, I don't have time to
Mm.
try to figure this out. Like, where's the walkthrough? And some people don't like that, but I'm just like, some people just don't have the time
Mm-hmm.
at all to just stay there and be in the same spot over and over, doing the same habit over and over again. Like, we got to continue this because I want to get to the rest of the story. So
And that's what made me fall in love with Zelda on Game Boy as my first game
mm,
because of the story richness and knowing that as I progressed, the story would unfold even more. And as I picked up different items that I could wear, I could finally jump over this hole, or I could finally possibly fly, or I could push this boulder. Like
mhm,
everything that you did added to the story. And that was my entry point to RPGs, role playing games, for those who don't know what RPGs
mm,
are. And I stuck with them still to this day with my gaming. Like, while I might be a simmer on stream with Twitch, I mainly play RPGs. And so that game
mm,
sold it for me. I can't remember if I had too many other games on Game Boy because I was really hooked on Zelda, but I might have been a little into
mhm.
like the Dr. Mario Tetris version with the pills. I love
Mhm.
Oh,
stacking
yeah.
those pills, which now thinking about it, that was high key inappropriate for children. Nintendo. Just saying.
That happens so much in
A
video
lot of
games
it.
though. Like you just like when you go back to some of those games and you're just like, who let me play this? Because this is a little sus. Like, what is happening?
Your parents going along with it because it's like, you
Definitely.
want this little game? And all they're looking at is the picture. They don't see the commercials, and the commercials, I don't think that they were as like out there as commercials can be nowadays. So they weren't really
Definitely.
paying attention
Mm-mm.
probably either. As long as there was no sex or like outwardly overt drugs and alcohol anywhere, I don't think parents were checking like that really.
Definitely
Especially
not.
not my mama.
Mm-mm.
She if she had an inkling of that, I wouldn't have had the game for sure at all.
Fair.
Right. Exactly.
If you say something smart to your black mama, she will put you in timeout, take away your video games, send you to bed with no supper, or slap the black off you.
Because I mean, even now as an adult, like me and my siblings will like we really enjoy watching different YouTubers and stuff like that. And like my mom will like happen to like, pass by the couch, see it, and be like, since when do they have cussing in video games? Since when is this a thing in video games? And we're like, this has always been a thing. But yeah, like this has always been a thing, but like also don't look too hard.
It's like the sweet little notions have been a little bit more risque as society has evolved, and like sexuality, identity, embracing these things, talking about things more openly. I can see how it's progressed, but some levels of it is like, yeah, this shouldn't be for anyone under the age of 18, but somehow it still ends up in some of y'all's kids' games is out there. Please take this as a notification. Go check what your kids are playing, especially if you just gave them a credit card or an account or gave them money and they just went and got it. Today, you need to do that.
Yeah.
I would say for all three of us, our parents didn't need to check on us with what we were playing 10, 15 years ago or as little kids.
But I also think that speaks to the fact that video games have also changed. You're not just jumping on platformers to get Mario to the flag. Like, people are putting their real hearts and souls into video games now. And so what looks like a cute story about a teddy bear trying to get through his owner's dreams is actually a psychological horror about him going through her nightmares. Shout out to Darkest Tales.
I love that. The nuance, the context, the expectation that the gamer and gamer audiences will be at a range of thinking that they can process that versus infantilizing us forever, essentially. So I can respect that. Our first consoles, our first love. Mine was Zelda. Yours was Hey Pikachu. And Shell, let them know again what yours was so they can go check them out.
Oh, it was like Donkey Kong.
A classic.
So, Nintendo, all
Yeah,
that
A
good stuff.
classic.
Yes.
Who doesn't love Donkey Kong? What are some funny chaos stories that you've had while learning to play a game? I think is important for us to cover because everybody has had that one game where you got stuck repeatedly for days, weeks, maybe even months because you got so annoyed and you couldn't go back to it. It might not have been funny to you at the time, but it's funny now when you retrospect, you processed it. I have a game and it wasn't funny to me. It still ain't funny to me, but I'm going to share it. So I loved Red Dead Redemption. And I got it as it came out on PS4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's still on my PS4. And I had never played Red Dead Redemption, the first one, because it was probably not on my radar as a game to play of all the games that I would play outside of RPGs, maybe other adventure ones. But when I was playing on PS4, I was like so committed to Arthur. I'm like, oh yes, I'm going to make Arthur over into this wonderful person. And this is the time for you to skip forward if you haven't played it and you don't want no spoilers. But when I got to a certain point in the game, and he was helping a homeboy that he came to get the money from, and bro coughing all in his face. I got the money. Please, and we chose to be kind to the man. But then fast forward towards getting towards the end, my homeboy Arthur started coughing. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? You have what he has. And so that made me feel like I shouldn't have gone the arc of like playing nice. I should have gone the arc of playing Ruthless because homeboy's gonna die at the end of the game. So I feel like for me, that was like a learning point of like, I can not go into games trying to be kind in these type of scenarios in a game as big as Red Dead Redemption 2 is, and try playing like the most vile, mean way, and then come back and play the way my heart truly wants. That way I don't get so upset about things. Do you all have some examples of like funny chaos stories from learning how to play a game?
So it's not as detailed, but so the first time that I ever tried to play Stardew Valley, someone let me know that it's a good game, you need to play it. I was like, okay. They're like, you like Animal Crossing, so it'll be fine. Okay. So I get this game and I play it. Everything's going fine. There's not a lot of instructions. I'm like winging it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then it comes to nighttime. Do you know what happens at nighttime in Stardew Valley? If you're not in your house in your bed, you just pass out in the middle of the street. Okay? And so that happened. And I was like, excuse me? I don't know what I was going through at that time, but that was my final straw. I rage quit the game that second. I turned it off. I didn't pick Stardew Valley back up for a year. I did not. I was in the hospital for COVID, and all I had were the games that were on my Switch, and Stardew happened to be one of them, and I was like, let me give it a try, I guess. But like, yeah, I was mad. I was done because, you know, in Animal Crossing, you can stay up all night. They don't care. You don't have no bedtime. Why Stardew gave me a bedtime as a whole adult farmer, I don't know. But I was mad and I was done.
A whole year in COVID, I had to push you back to it. That's wild. Yeah. That's wild. I will say with Red Dead Redemption, I did pause after I saw that he was going to get sick. I stopped playing that game for a good 6 to 12 months, so almost a year too. I was like, nah, fuck that. I ain't gonna do this because you ain't gonna hurt my heart after I done made you a good man. So I feel you on like saying, you know what? This ain't funny. It's funny to y'all. I'm done. Bye. But picking it back up and giving it a go is a positive, commendable thing. I tried Stardew Valley. I don't know if it's the neurospicy in me. I tried it. I literally paid for it. I still have it paid for from Steam, and I'm on Mac. So I was like, cool, it's available for Mac. I haven't really gotten into it. I haven't had to deal with that experience, so thanks for letting me know that, because I'd probably get irritated too. Like, I'm a grown ass woman, ain't I out here to save the valley?
Gail, what did you say to Miss Millie?
Yeah.
Shell, tell us about your funny chaos story learning how to play a game.
Yes. Actually, it's actually a recent game. I recently finished Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Beautiful, beautiful game. I really love that game. I didn't know what I was getting into it. Because it was on Game Pass, and I was like, you know what? Let's try another storytelling game. When I tell y'all, my community literally watched me get my ass beat so many times. Beginning was great, you know, like I mean, I was getting my ass beat, but I was like, okay, but like, and I don't want to spoil one, but like towards the end of Act 1, you'll have like one boss that has a second phase, and I was like, I barely got through that. Like my guys are like dying, like they're on their last breath, and I'm just like, it's gonna make me start all over. I know it. And when it did, I was like, baby, I can't do this. Like my community's like trying to root me on. I was like, guys, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can keep like literally every act, and I was like, I don't think I can continue, guys. Like this is like, and I had it on easy. I couldn't even imagine for people who don't have it on easy. So like, it was literally kicking my ass. But like I said, the developers everything cinematic wise, beautiful game. But be prepared to get your ass kicked. Definitely a lot. A whole lot.
It's giving me
And a cry.
Oh, cry. Wait, no.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, you can locked
Yeah.
upside your head 360.
Yeah, basically.
It's horrible.
Yes,
The
definitely.
second phase of a boss, that reminds me of Final Fantasy 8 or any of the Final Fantasies I've played, 8, 10, all of those, where sometimes you get a big boss and you think, oh shit, we made it through that. One of my players was on like 0.01 life left, and we finally made it. Thank God that combination of what I did, and then it's like, oh, it's down on the ground, and then you see that cutscene, and it's like, the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean it's getting back up? What do you mean? No.
I was like, ain't no motherfucking way. Like, I can't. So,
Are you
yes,
a cat?
that was
Are you a
definitely.
cat? 9 lives? But yes, those are probably the hardest things to get through when you're invested. That's the thing. When you're invested in the game, of course, this can come out of you. I guess that's a good sign to all of the ones we brought up, like the amount of investment that we had towards the game. That's why it was like, damn, I got it. Ain't nobody told me nothing. Versus if you're just like, oh, I'll see what this game's about. Oh, this is what's happening. Okay, cool. Let me go and do something else. Like, you don't really care.
Yeah.
When you do, it's like, damn it, I care. I'm going to come back and figure this out. But I appreciate y'all sharing your vulnerable stories, because those are some hard ones. Those are some hard ones. And Shell, I think the other week I was doing a dev interview on my channel, and shout out to Glenn Henry out there in Jamaica with Sprite Winch Studios. But he also brought up this particular game, the Expedition 33. And he was saying how like some people hate it and some people love it. And I think that's what you want in a game. It doesn't need to be something like a Grand Theft Auto where everybody's going to love it enough where the naysayers are kind of like, we hate it, but nobody hears them because it's like a crowd of Beyonce concert goers. Yeah, we love that. You know?
Yeah.
I think that can make games cool too. A dissenting opinion. Before we wrap with this episode, I do want us to talk a little bit about, like, I thought the NPC was me. Anytime where you misunderstood how a game was to be played completely, like an embarrassing, oh, I should have known that, either as present day streamers with a few games under our belts, of course, or even as a young little one figuring out how the controllers worked. I will share first. This is so embarrassing, and I think about it often. Now that I'm an adult, I laugh. But when I was like in elementary or maybe going into middle school, my mom's friend had 2 teenage sons, and sometimes one of the sons would babysit me if he was home until my mom got home from work after school for me. And so I came over and he was like, yeah, I'm about to play basketball game with my friends on, I can't remember if it was like a Nintendo or a Sega, but it was a basketball game. And I don't really play the sports games. I'm realizing that there's probably a connection to this story as to why I hate sports games. But anyways, he's at least 16. I would say 5 to 6 years older than me. And him and his friend from school were playing it. And I was like, I want to play. Please let me play. I want to play basketball. I want to play. And they were like, okay, sure. And so they gave me a controller. And I'm sitting there and you know you're watching yourself on TV with a game console while you playing somebody else. And I'm thinking I'm pushing this. And then I'm slowly realizing the player isn't doing what I'm coordinating the player to do based on the buttons they told me I could push to do X, Y, Z. And then I looked down closely at the controller. They had unplugged my controller and my babysitter was playing against the NPCs. And then when I realized it, I was like, that's not funny. And they were just laughing hysterical. Because I was so into it, thinking I was making jump shots and stuff until I realized, wait a minute, you're not really doing what I told you to do. So that was one
Oh,
of my times where I misunderstood
wow.
completely what
That
was
is
happening, both
insane.
in not actually having a controller plugged in and how the buttons on the controller function for what the player is supposed to do.
I feel bad because I've definitely done that to a sibling. My little brother is jumping around. He's like 4, like screaming at the TV, yelling, doing the things, and I'm just like, you're not even playing. And I just keep on playing, pretending that he's doing great. I'm like, wow, you're getting it, man.
Mm. Yeah.
That's his villain story.
It is.
Origin story.
Absolutely. It is definitely his villain origin story. Now that he's older, because we're all adults now. And like he definitely told me, like, I can't believe you did that to me. Little
Yes.
me
Yeah.
thought I was like playing it, and I was like, look, we were having fun, weren't we? And you didn't ruin my game.
That's
So
great.
here we are.
I'm so sorry, little bro. How about you, Michelle? Do you have one to share?
Yes, actually. So I remember we was so me and my cousins, I had a lot of guy cousins, so I grew up with like a lot of boys. But a lot of times when my mom would go shopping at the mall, and you know how the mall used to have like arcade games in there. So the mall that we had was the arcade at the bottom. And I remember she would always come in to check in every hour, again, black mom. So I had to make sure every hour to check in. But we were playing a couple of games. One of my cousins, he was a little bit older than me. And I'm over here like barely like seeing over the counter because I'm like small. Like I was born really, really early. So like I didn't get a growth spurt till like way later. And we were playing, I forgot, I think it was like Mortal Kombat. I mean, I think I'm like over here kicking his behind and everything. Like I'm pushing the buttons, I'm moving the joystick really fast. And then like later on, I'm realizing he was playing one player the whole time. The NPC was actually kicking his ass. Like it wasn't me. So that's like the good time where I was like, you literally weren't even allowing me to play. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, you was having fun. I was like, I barely was like seen over, like I was on my tippy toes, like
I don't know
struggling.
why
Like
this is
by the end
worse
of the
than
day, I
my
was sore.
story because you were playing Mortal Kombat and I can just imagine how geeked you were.
It was. I mean, glasses going to. I mean, I was sweating, trying to make sure that I was gonna beat him, and then next, I realized, yeah, I was never ever playing around that time. He was playing the whole time by himself. I was just, his little kid cousin. That's it.
I'm
So,
seeing a connective tissue,
yeah.
Zambe, with your cozy horror because you like making people feel warm and cozy and then surprising them. And then Shell and I both play games where there's a lot of building and context and story to build through the worlds that you're going through. So maybe that's why we went this direction. We were traumatized at an early age.
No, for real.
Go ahead,
So
Zombie. Let us know what happened to you that you did do to somebody else with these NPCs.
So,
Right, seriously.
to go off of Shell's story because uh I'm a mess. So here where I live, we have video game bars where you have like you have pinball machines, like old school retro arcade games, and then also like new gen consoles. Um, and so uh this is a bar still, so I was
Drinking.
and so I went over to one of the arcade games to start to play. And you know how they have those scenes where like it shows the gameplay, um, like, and then cycles back to like tell you to like, put the coin in so you can play. Uh, I had maybe one too many, and this is how I knew it was time to go home. But I was definitely thought I had put the coin in, was playing for a minute, and then my friend came over and they're like, "Are you actually playing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm playing." And then the screen came up that was like, "Put a coin in to play." And I was like, "Oh, maybe it's time to go home." I thought I was getting it, y'all. Like, I was like, yes.
You
Drink
had to
in
be
one
so
hand. I'm like
drunk.
pushing the buttons and like, yeah.
Embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. That's.
It is.
I mean, I don't even think. I mean, what? And that was in public.
Yes.
At least me and Shell were in the privacy of our own comforts of home.
No. And
That's
and that bar gets
Oh.
pretty packed sometimes, so people were probably walking by like, "Oh, she's gone. She needs to go home." And that's exactly what I did.
That
I
would have
was
been a
like, "We gotta
TikTok.
go."
That would have been somebody's TikTok. Look at this woman look at her. Look how she's going in. And then above in the text overlay to be like, POV, when you're so drunk you haven't even put a coin in, but you're kicking ass in the slot machine. Or
Right, I'm waiting to see that
machine.
TikTok. If someone out there has that TikTok, it's okay. Post it. I laugh at myself all the time. Post it.
Oh
Tag
man.
me.
That's too funny. Wow. Well, at least we have redeeming qualities at some point in our life, because both of those, or all three of ours, were pretty embarrassing. At least we were not in public, though, Shell. I'm going to give it up to us for that. I'm so sorry, Zombie.
High five on
It's all
that one.
right.
But as we get ready to close out, I just want to remind everyone this is episode 1 of Video Games Are for Boys. You can definitely tune in for more from us this season as we get underway. But we just wanted you to get to know us. And hopefully next time you'll get to meet Meal, another co-host of the foursome. Again, don't get those nasty little ideas. Before we get going, I would love us to end around talking about like a moment where we realized, like, present day and the journeys we've had with different games, as well as being gamers before we became streamers, like what you feel has been a key moment for you where you felt like gatekeeping in gaming is a garbage approach, because in all of our embarrassing NPC moments, there could have been an opportunity for someone to say, "Hey, you're not actually playing." And while it's jokes and fun in those instances, there are moments in present day 2025 forward where people are like very cutthroat about how you better be great at a game or else I don't want to play with you, or oh, you better have these type of stats as a gamer or a streamer. I don't want to do anything with you because of appearance or status, or clout chasing. And people who get access to certain games before they're fully released, or getting to be like a part of either like affiliate programs or partner programs because they play certain games. In a way, some of that can be seen as gatekeeping, but in a way, it also can be seen as awarding people for the success that they've had with certain games. Have there been any moments for any of you, thus far as adults now thinking about gaming and our place in streaming, like where you've been like, gatekeeping in gaming is garbage, because look at how each of us shared our first love and intro into gaming, and then like how we've learned to play games that seemed complex or had secret structures that we eventually adapted to. Is there a moment for any of you that you can talk about?
Yeah, I think right now what's happening even in today's society is a lot of people just want more, more, and more. And I think it's mostly people who's like younger than us, because they didn't get to grow up with going outside and then coming home and playing video games, or oh, you smell like outside, shower first, and then you go straight to your video games. Like I remember even finishing homework, and I'm like, Mom, A+ here. And then she's like, okay, now you can go. But a lot of times for us, it was embedded in us that video games was just for kids. And I think a lot of us who's in this millennial age, I guess you can say, are healing our inner child. So when we don't want to be around people like, oh, well, you can't play because you have the stats. I'm like, all right, because like I ain't got time for you, like and I do have like a lot of friends who are complete sweats, and I know a lot of them be like, hey, we won't get mad at you or whatever. I was like, I get that, but I sometimes just want to enjoy my
Mm.
games because I feel like literally when I had my actual first career job was literally my first paycheck. I went to buy an Xbox. Like I was ready to get it. And I don't think it's right for a lot of people who even older generational us than us today, like, oh, well, it's still video games, or people like, oh, get a real job. I'm like, there's doctors and lawyers who uses video games to release
Mm-hmm.
everything. Do you want them to be alcoholic? Do you want to be a junkie? Or do you want them to be addicted to video games where they can just escape from the world around? So I don't think it's right for a lot of people who say, "Oh, this is just you're too old for this, or you're too big for this, or you don't play this game correctly," and things like that. And a lot of times when I'm streaming, I'm just like, "Look, guys, I'm a professional dyer, so if you are in here to think that I am great at this game,
Mm.
I'm not. I always tell people, I was like, do not watch me. I'm only here for the
Yeah.
vibes in the game. Some games, yes, I do want to win. Don't get me wrong. There are some games that I do want to win. But when I feel where will get angry, or I'm not acting like myself, that's where I feel like, all right, that's
Yeah.
not the game for me. And that's where I feel like, so yeah.
I feel that. 2 snaps
Yes.
for that. I feel it because I think there was a break for me at one point in maybe my 20s where I wasn't adamant about my video games as much as I had grown to be from childhood through college and then early young adulthood. And it was mainly because I was working more,
Mhm.
I was earning more, and therefore I had more. I hate calling it disposable income because it sounds ridiculous, especially in 2025 with America the way it is. But had more funds to go do other things, and so naturally I wanted to try those other things and experience those other things, but I always came back to my video games. I never like went years without playing, but there are pockets to it. But even to your point, like as a
Mhm.
child, our generation here on the screen or in your ears for those listening, we actually had third spaces to go to. So a video game itself wasn't a third space. And I think to your point, Shell, I think video gaming has become a third space for these newer generations because they don't have a third space to go to. Just like the internet, digital is a third space to
Mhm.
them. We had real in life
Mhm.
playtime with real in life friends, cousins, brothers, sisters, you name it. And we had an
Mhm.
actual multiple
Mhm.
places to go to, not just one outside of our home and school. So anyone trying to gatekeep gaming, or you all out there who might be older, that's ridiculous because like it was a pastime and an enjoyable hobby and passion as a child. You should be able to continue to do that for whatever your outlet needs are, or for whatever your creativity needs are too, because gaming is a way to make sure your brain stays active and thinking, especially if you're playing games that are meant to challenge you. And I think
Mhm.
for those who are younger, who
Mhm.
are deeply into gaming, but they don't have like access to certain consoles and today's status thing of, oh, you don't have this, oh, you don't have that. Those people, okay, play on what you have and don't let anyone make you feel bad about it because again, everything is always evolving. Like what's the latest console today is going to be outdated in like 10 years. So why allow people to rag on you or make you feel less than because you're not on their level, quote unquote, with that type of console? And then for those who are too old for games, we're too old for the mess that be happening in society every day. Shit, I'm gonna go play my game.
Absolutely.
Zombie, how you feel about that?
First, I just want to say, Shell, when you see professional dyer in my Twitch hashtags, mind your business. Mind your business. It's going right next to forehead kisser. Yeah. Anyway, for me, my story is actually about how I decided to become like a content creator. Because when I I started like ingesting content with YouTube when I was in my 20s. We had a pretty strict household when I was younger, so um but I was seeing people like Markiplier, like Dashi, like Corey, like you know, these people, and what I wasn't seeing were a lot of women, and I wasn't seeing a lot of black women. Uh, I don't. I think the first real time I saw a black woman playing games in the creator space was actually Berlizi's sister Brittany, which I love, by the way. I don't know if you've seen her, but and she didn't come on and she was just
Mhm.
like, okay, we're gonna play cozy games. Nothing against cozy games, okay? But to see women in games that are more quote unquote more for boys, horror games, like shooter games, different stuff like that, like that was so inspiring. And so that's kind of what was like, if she can do it, then yeah, I can get in here and do it too. Like, and then from there, I don't know if other people got inspired at the same time, but then I started seeing more black women playing all different types of games, from The Sims to horror games
Mhm.
to, cozy adventure games. And I was like, I love this. This is like encouraging. And so, like, I guess that's to say, like, sometimes even when people are trying to gatekeep, you just have to blow up the gate and do it anyway, because then you allow others to come behind you.
Hello. I
Period.
feel like people forget, to your point, Zambe, that there had to be someone who was the outcast, the outsider, the strange one, the weird one. Why are you doing that? You don't belong here. Somebody had to do that to knock out shit that was there for us to have some of the things that we have now. And that has to keep happening so that the future us and the future generations of people that come after us can know that that's possible too. It's where like people get stuck on this, well, I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough. I don't have a peener. I'm not cis hetero male. Mommy and daddy aren't going to buy me everything to play this. Like, let that go, because if you were supposed to be them, I feel like you would have been born them. You were you.
Absolutely.
So stay you and do what the fuck you want to do. And if you're an adult and you've got some money, shit, it's your money. You spent time wherever the hell you're working to spend your money how you want to, spend it how you want to. And I can't stress this enough to both of y'all's points, like, of gatekeeping being trash. How, if you do want to hear from experts or people in this field or in the space or whatnot, then cool, listen to them. But always listen to more than one person and get more than one opinion and thought about something versus just going with one singular person's thought and one singular train of thought if it's a group of people, because that's how you get sucked into not actually wanting to like explore and push yourself and being willing to say, there isn't a right or wrong way to be a gamer unless you're out here harming people, of course. Please don't go and run with that.
100.
Okay? But there's no right and
Mhm.
wrong way for you to show up as a gamer enjoying games where you're not being problematic, you're not being harmful. And if you do things that might be tailored for adults, then cool, it's tailored for adults. If you do things that's tailored for everyone, great, it's tailored for everyone. There's a space for every bucket, right? And as much as I think gaming continues to evolve and it's a beautiful thing, I mean, I play on my Mac, I play on this little handheld thing I now have. I have my PS4. Like, at some point, I do not want to get to a point where it's like, oh, well, gaming is costing thousands of dollars a month just to enjoy it, because that's ridiculous too. And that's immediately going to cut out hundreds of thousands of gamers who aren't at a socioeconomic status to be able to afford $1,000 a month gaming, just because it's now deemed something that should be for people with money who can afford that pastime. Thank y'all for listening and enjoying our first episode. Hopefully, we're going to go ahead and say our goodbyes for now, but we will be back in a week's time with episode 2, where we'll talk about us creating a little bit of mess in some of our games. But for now, Shell and Zombie, go ahead and say goodbye to the folks. Let them know where they can find you on social. And of course, y'all can always find these details on our channel on YouTube and here on whichever podcast place location you're listening to us.
Yes. Thank y'all for allowing me to be here. You can catch me on all social medias. Shell So Random. Because I have bad memory, so I try to keep everything the same. So so catch me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, obviously. So Shell So Random. Very easy to find me if you even Google it. So yeah.
It is Zombie Senpai on all platforms. I stream on Twitch Thursdays and Saturdays. I'm trying to be on TikTok. It is what it is. And you can catch me on Blue Sky, Twitter. I think that's it. I don't have Instagram, but I do have Threads. So it's Zombie Senpai on all those.
And for me, similar things, you can absolutely catch me over on Twitch. All things Sims, all things adult, 18 plus, come through. TikTok, YouTube, a little bit of Instagram. But if you want to look at my pictures, go on over to Pinterest, girl. I have tons of boards. Until next time, we hope that you can take away from our conversation and reconnect with any of your nostalgic moments with your first love in gaming, first consoles, and where you are today as a gamer, whether you stopped and you want to pick back up, whether you are a streamer, as well as just playing games in your own leisure. Just know that you are more than welcome to be in the gaming space too, no matter what anybody has to say. And for those who like to gatekeep, hopefully this opens your mind up about changing some of your behaviors. Until next time, bye.
Bye.